Hello and welcome to Reviews with Ryan, and today on the channel I'm going to be talking about the brand new action thriller film called Memory. This film was directed by Martin Campbell, and he's done films like Casino Royale, GoldenEye, The Protege, Edge of Darkness, and Green Lantern. And before I get into this review, I'd like to ask, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, and comment below your thoughts on this brand new film. And also turn the notification bell so you never miss any videos that I make. And now without further ado, let's jump into my thoughts on this brand new film. An assassin for hire finds that he's become a target after he refuses to complete a job for a dangerous criminal organization. This is a remake of the 2003 Belgian film called The Memory of a Killer, and the film stars Monica Bellucci, Liam Neeson, Guy Pearce, Ray Stevenson, Taj Atwal, and Stella Stalker. So I've said it on my channel before, Liam Neeson, I'm kind of really getting sick and tired of the roles that he is doing because it's the same role over and over and over. I did review his last movie, Blacklight, which was an absolute disaster, completely terrible, and one of the worst films of the year. And then he also did The Ice Road, which was released on Netflix. I didn't do a review for that one, but that movie was as bad as well. And then he did Honest Thief, which has probably been his best movie as of late, and also did The Marksman, which was kind of meh to me. So going into this film, I really had no expectations. There really was no promotion for this film. I think I saw a trailer for this film maybe once, maybe a couple weeks ago, and I don't see a lot of people going to see this film. But the positives that I will say about this film is I really think that Guy Pearce really carries this film. I thought that he did a really good job in his role, and if Liam Neeson wasn't in this film and it was just Guy Pearce, I would have been okay with that. I also did like the opening scene. Liam Neeson has a brutal scene where he kills someone, and I thought that that was a good scene to start out, and then it followed up with another kind of unrelated scene within the two stories that are in this film. And I really did like those two opening scenes to open the film, as it made it seem like it would be a very promising film. So in this film, Liam Neeson, he basically is working for this group where he pretty much kills a bunch of people, and they want him to kill this specific person, and they are a child and he doesn't want to do it. And that really starts off this whole gang trying to get their revenge on him since he doesn't want to do this job. And then there is some other story that Guy Pearce is investigating with his detectives. And I'm not really going to say much about that story because it'll give pretty much the whole entire plot away. Liam Neeson's character in this, it's pretty much pretty one note for me. Other than the fact that he has memory issues in this, I didn't really think that his character was really that great. I just feel like a lot of these characters that he's playing, it just seems at this point that he's just going through the motions and just looking for a paycheck. So yes, I didn't really think that his character really is that great in this film. Thought it was interesting that the movie was called Memory, and the whole disability that he has is introduced as a small disability rather than a big kind of liability for him. And it just seemed like they really didn't really do a good job of really trying to mentally try to show us that he's going through this really tough time. There's like a couple scenes where he's like stuttering and he seems like he's not remembering things, but the way it was introduced, it came off as very clumsy and kind of lazy. And then the fact that this is a thriller film, and the fact that we already really know who is going through these crimes and who is committing these crimes, because Liam Neeson tells us, he tells us exactly throughout this film who is doing what. And because he does that, there's nothing for the audience to really figure out or really have any kind of twist on this film. You know who is behind the crime. So I really thought that that took away from the film. And then Guy Pearce, I just feel really bad for him because he has these three detectives that are just really kind of walking through this script. He has this one black guy, and when he does his lines, they just sound like he is reading verbatim really off the script, kind of like a robot. He was a terrible character. And then he had this Spanish guy that was really underdeveloped, and I thought he was a very boring and kind of generic kind of character and didn't do anything to add to the film. And then he has this woman who is kind of the main person they kind of shadow him with, And she changes her accent, I think, like 3 or 4 times in this film, and I thought she was completely terrible. So all these characters really hurt the film, and Guy Pearce is just kind of carrying this investigation throughout this film. And then you have Liam Neeson with his character that is pretty generic, like he usually does, and then just kind of adding to the fact that he has these memory issues. And then I also didn't really buy the fact that he has these issues, because a lot of times throughout the film he'll forget certain things, and then he'll just all of a sudden kind of kill people. And there's this one particular scene where he's in the hospital and he is sitting in the bed, and this is after some other scene where he gets hurt and he is not remembering certain things, but then he just gets up and he starts hitting this guy and all these different moves that he's doing to him. And I was just like, I mean, I understand there's movie magic, but I just thought it was a little bit much, and I just never really got into the whole memory portion that they threw into this, because I just don't think it was developed enough. I feel like they tried to throw a random love connection in here, and he meets up with this woman and has this wasted scene where this guy is trying to hit on this woman at a bar, and then he pretty much, tells the guy off, and then he obviously makes love with this woman, and she ends up, mild spoiler, getting killed. It really doesn't add anything to the plot, so it really doesn't really spoil much, but I just thought that that was a wasted scene. It didn't really need to be in the movie. It just wasted time where the audience really doesn't really care about this character, and just wasted time in general that doesn't really add anything to the story. And then, weirdly enough, this film doesn't have any soundtrack at all. It's a very quiet movie, and at times it feels very awkward when they're going through these scenes and there's no music, nothing at all. Just very odd choice that no soundtrack in this movie. I don't think I've seen a movie in a while where no soundtrack was in a movie, because to me, in a movie, a soundtrack really kind of makes or breaks certain moments and tensions, and it builds the film. And this, with not having a soundtrack, it really definitely downplayed the film for me. Overall, I really didn't really like this film. I did like some of the action in this film. When there is action in this film, it's not bad. It's just the fact that I didn't like the fact that there's no soundtrack. It's too quiet at times. And then the part where we're connecting the two stories of Liam Neeson and Guy Pearce, it takes quite a bit before they meet in the middle and really are getting into this investigation of this crime that has taken place. And I just felt that the story wasn't very executed very well. And even the wrap up, I really did not like the way that this film ended. Now, it was unexpected, and kudos to, I guess, the fact that I wasn't going to guess that ending, but at the same time, I really didn't like how they played out that final ending scene. And I would say the last 30 minutes of this film, it's kind of meh for me. I didn't really care for it, and in general, I really can't recommend this film, and I'm gonna give a score of this film a 2 out of 5. It's better than his last movie, Blacklight, but in general, if you want to see this film, I would definitely stream it, and I would not pay full price or some $20 premium for this. I would just wait till it's like a couple bucks to rent. It's better than some of his other films as of late, but in general, it's not that great of a film, and I would definitely wait. But thank you guys for watching this review, and I'll see you guys on my next one.